Hey everyone, this is Cypher here. Welcome back or welcome to my channel. So before we get into the main information of today's video, I just wanted to quickly make an announcement for anybody who's subbed to the channel and remotely cares. You can skip ahead if you don't want to hear this. That's fine. If you want to get straight to the information, completely understandable. But for those of you who want to get a bit of a channel update real quick, for those of you who didn't see my community post, I got a gaming PC at last. I can't believe it. It's been a long time coming, and yeah, I just decided to make the upgrade because I had enough money to do so, and it was my birthday recently, so I just put it all together, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna try and find a price that's like reasonable for me, where I'm prioritizing the specs needed for my setup and needed for what I need to do for my channel. I'm not, needing anything too high end. I'm not trying to do all of my games on my PC. Like, I only want to maybe play DBD and maybe some horror games around October time on my PC, but it's mainly a step up for my editing, and it does all of those things, which is amazing. But yeah, with this upgrade, that now means that I can edit and put out videos at a much quicker rate, which is something this channel needed so badly, because if you guys haven't seen some of the gaps between uploads, it's ridiculous. Like, the editing time it would take on my laptop was so demotivating that it would take me an age just to get one video out, and I never wanted to commit to video making because of it. But now I can post videos much quicker. I can up the quality of my editing because I can go at a quicker pace now, and like I say, I can switch over to DVD PC now, which is kind of a shame, RIP to Xbox DVD, I guess. But yeah, I have a much better quality now. You guys should be seeing my videos in like 2K quality now instead of 1080p, and I will have a better refresh rate, I think, for the most part, like better FPS. So all around, great upgrade, and I know none of you guys came to the video for this, but I thought I'd just throw it in there for anybody interested. Getting into the actual topic of today's video, we're going to be looking at all of the changes we got in the 8.1.0 update in Dead by Daylight. Now, this dropped with the Tomb Raider chapter, and so this isn't exactly brand new information. I do need to whiz through this as soon as possible, get this video out, and then cover like the two other smaller updates, because we do have a new chapter coming up very soon, which I'm very excited for. So first and foremost, you guys already know this, we got the new content. We got Lara Croft with her 3 perks. That's nothing new. So I've already made a whole video on that. If you haven't seen it, I'll leave a time card above to go and watch that if you haven't already. Getting into the killer perk updates first and foremost. So we have Darkness Revealed. So with this perk now, they've increased the duration of the aura reveal to 6, 7, or 8 seconds, which was 3, 4, and 5 seconds before. That's very nice. I never really use this perk, but it's nice that it got an increase. That's great. Then for I'm All Ears, this is a perk I actually use quite a bit. They've decreased the cooldown to 60, 45, and 30 seconds, which was 60, 50, and 40 seconds. How can you complain with that? A decreased cooldown, that's obviously good. Then for Trail of Torment, they've decreased the cooldown for this too, and it's now been reduced to 60, 45, and 30 seconds, which was 80, 70, and 60 seconds before. So that's very, very nice. Then for Oppression, they've decreased the cooldown as well. Oh my god, this seems to be mostly cooldown changes I'm seeing here. But yeah, for Oppression, they've decreased the cooldown to 60, 50, and 40 seconds from 120, 180 seconds that it was before. Holy moly. Okay. For Dragon's Grip, they've also decreased the cooldown to 60, 50, and 40 seconds, which was 120, 180 seconds. So it was exactly the same as Oppression. And for Machine Learning, this is also a perk I use often. They've increased the Undetectable and Haste duration to 40, 50, and 60 seconds from 20, 25, and 30 seconds. That is obviously good. I mean, yeah, longer duration for Undetectable and Haste effects. That's very nice. That is all we have for killer updates. Moving on to the Survivor perk updates, we have Autodidact. They've decreased the initial progress penalty to 15% now, which was 25% before. I actually do not know what that means because I never used that perk. That perk is so fucking useless to me. I don't think I've ever used Autodidact, or however the hell you say that word. I've never used that perk, I don't think, so that doesn't really matter to me. For Empathic Connection, they've increased the speed at which you heal others to 30% faster, which was 10%. Very, very nice. I notice I say very nice a lot in my videos. I don't know if you guys have noticed. I either say very cool or very nice, so I apologize for that. I can't think of like anything else to say half the time, and I don't want to like sit and can think of better words to use. I don't know. I'll try not to, though. I'll try not to keep saying the same shit, you know, because it'll get really repetitive. Moving on to Iron Will, they've increased the grunts of pain reduction to 80, 90, and 100%, which was 25, 50, and 75% before. For Resurgence, they've increased the healing progress gained to 50, 60, or 70, which was 40, 45, or 50% before. That is obviously good too. These are all buffs from what I'm seeing here. This is very nice. I did it again. I did it again. Oh my god. For Solidarity, they've increased the heal conversion rate to 50, 60, or 70%, which was 40, 45, or 50% before. And then for Babysitter, they've increased the haste bonus to 10%, which was 7 before. And they've increased the duration to 20, 25, and 30 seconds, which was 4, 6, and 8 seconds before. Holy shit. So that got a huge buff as well. So yeah, those are actually some really good changes we got there for the perks. Most of those I don't even use, but there's some of those in there that I do use, and I'm very happy with those. So yeah, good changes all around. Moving on to killer updates, so just general killer changes. For the Knight, oh my god, they have done so much to his base kit. It's unbelievable. I hope these are good, by the way, because I hate the Knight, and one of the reasons I don't play him, besides him being boring, is that I just find his power just a bit shit. I don't know. But anyway, let's read them. So they've added the ability to cycle between guards using the secondary ability button. I guess maybe it was the primary button before. I'm not really sure. That's actually really good, you know. I didn't even think about that for a second there, but that's good that you can now pick the guards you want to use instead of having to cycle through them in the order they would naturally go in. Like, now you can just pick whichever one's more suited for a certain task. That's great. I've been wanting that the whole time since it dropped. Thank God. They've decreased the camera push distance when entering path creation mode to 80 centimeters, which was 160 centimeters before. Okay, I can't say I care too much about that, but all right. I guess maybe that doesn't like sink your screen too far in, so you don't lose too much of the intel, I guess, on your screen. Like maybe if it zoomed in too much before, that might have stopped you from seeing more people in your peripherals. I don't know. The Knight must now create a patrol path of at least 10 meters before being able to spawn a guard. It's possible to cancel early by using the secondary ability button. Okay. They've adjusted the guard's detection to reduce the likelihood of being detected through walls. That's good too, because like before, I swear to God, those things were fucking psychic. They could just like see you through a wall. They could just detect you anywhere, which didn't really make a lot of sense, to be honest. While the Knight is within 8 meters of a guard that is actively hunting, the hunt timer will deplete at 3 times the normal speed. This is actually a very common sense change, to be honest, because a lot of the time when I'm playing against a Knight, they always place down a guard, right, to come and hunt me, and then they just follow it. They just follow the guard. Sometimes they don't even try to like go a different way and like, you know, kind of sandwich you, you know, come from different sides to try and block you off. There's a lot of these people who play the Knight who just place it down so it detects you, and then they just walk alongside it. Like, I guess just in case they outrun it and then you're close enough to get the basic attack. But it's just one of those things I found a bit stupid. Like, if you're gonna chase someone, just chase them normally. Don't use the guard and then follow it, you know? So that makes sense to me. I think that's actually a good change. While drawing a patrol path, its length applies a modifier on the base total hunt time. So for 1 to 15 meters, it's a 1 times hunt time speed, I guess. I don't know. I guess that'll be the time duration will be 1 times. Then for 16 to 25 meters, it's 1.25 times, or X. I guess we'll just say X. And then for 26 plus meters, it's 1.5X. So it's apparently a quicker hunt time. It goes down quicker depending on the meters drawn out. That's fair enough. And while drawing a patrol path, its length applies a modifier on the base banner spawn time as well. So for 1 to 50 meters, it's 1 times again. For 16 to 25 meters, it's 1.5 times. And then 26 plus meters, it's 2 times. Okay. To be honest, I never see anybody grab the banner. Half the time, people just run in a straight line just to try and outrun the guards. So, I mean, whatever though. That's fine, I guess. They've decreased the Carnifex's hunt duration to 12 seconds, which was 24 seconds before. Holy shit. I mean, yeah, the Carnifex is the fat one after all, so he is slower in hunts. So I guess it also makes sense that they'd reduce his hunt time as well, so that you're kind of incentivized not to use him for that task. For the Jailer, they've increased the hunt duration to 24 seconds from 12 seconds, and the Jailer, I think, is pretty good at chases, right? I don't really know the way the Knight works very well. I've kind of forgotten, but I'm going to assume that the Assassin has its chase still at 24 seconds because they haven't done anything there apparently to modify that. I'm pretty sure the assassin's the one that's like more experienced in the chasing aspect, right? Anyways, they've decreased the time it takes for each guard to perform the order action. So for the Carnifex, it's now 1.8 seconds, which was 2 seconds before. For the assassin, it's now 5 seconds, which was 6 seconds before. And for the jailer, it's now 5 seconds, which was 6 seconds before as well. Now, that obviously makes sense because the Carnifex, I think, is more equipped for like breaking pallets, damaging gens, so it makes sense that he would, you know, perform the order action quicker. And I like that they've obviously reduced it by a second for the other two. That's very nice as well. I keep saying very nice. I don't know how I'm going to stop myself, you guys. You're going to have to allow it. Or just do a counter. You know, actually, I give you guys full permission. Go in the comments and just put down a counter of how many times I said very nice. I'd love to know, because I can't refrain, apparently. And then finally, for his power, they have increased each guard's detection range. So for the Carnifex, it's now a 10-meter detection range, which was 8 meters before. For the assassin, it's also 10 meters, which was 8 meters before. And for the jailer, it's now 16 meters, which was 14 meters before. I do think the jailer is supposed to be better at detection, right? Those are some good changes. I think there's some really good ones in there, in my opinion, especially the one where you can cycle between the different guards. That's been a long time coming. That's been much needed for a while now, so thank God they've done that. For his add-ons now, for the map of the realm, it increases the guard's detection range by 2 meters, which was 4 meters before, so that's been nerfed, not good. For the pillaged mead, or med, I don't know how you say that, decreases the break or damage action of guards by 10%, which was 15% before. For the battle axe head, it decreases the cooldown after calling upon the Carnifex by 20%, which is a reworked ability. I don't know what it was before, so sorry about that, guys. For the treated blade, it now decreases the cooldown after calling upon the assassin by 20%, which is also a reworked functionality. For the cold steel manacles, it decreases the cooldown after calling upon the jailer by 20%, which is also a rework. For the sharpened mount, which was apparently called the chainmail fragment before, it increases the time it takes for the standard to spawn by 15%, which is a rework as well. I believe the standard is just the banner thing. For the grim iron mask, when a guard detects a survivor during a patrol, the survivor suffers from the blindness status effect for the next 75 seconds, which was 60 seconds before. So yeah, that's a buff. That's nice. For the survivors, maybe that's a bit of an inconvenience, but whatever. For the broken hilt, guards inflict the hemorrhage and mangled status effects when damaging a survivor, which was only mangled before. So yeah, they've made it a double whammy thing, I guess, now. It now does 2 effects to you. That's kind of mad. For the ironworker's tongs, if a guard fails to damage a survivor during a hunt, the survivor suffers from the oblivious status effect for 60 seconds, which was 20 seconds before. Holy moly. For the town watch's torch, while a guard is actively hunting a survivor, you gain the undetectable status effect, which is also a reworked functionality. For the blacksmith's hammer, guards inflict the broken status effect for 60 seconds when damaging a survivor. This is also a reworked functionality. For flint and steel, after summoning the Carnifex, the auras of all survivors within 24 meters of any unbroken dropped pallets are revealed for 8 seconds, which was 5 seconds before. So that got a slight buff. That's nice. For the healing poultice, after summoning the assassin, all survivors within 8 meters of the assassin's spawn location have their auras revealed for 8 seconds, which is also a rework. For the jailer's chimes, which was apparently called the lightweight greaves before, after summoning the jailer, survivors that cross the jailer's patrol path have their auras revealed for 8 seconds, which is also a rework. For the knight's contract, after giving an order, the guard will remain for an extra 8 seconds, triggering a hunt should they detect a survivor, which is also a rework. God, there's a lot of reworks in here today. And finally, for the iridescent company banner, drawing a patrol path through windows blocks them for all survivors for 25 seconds after summoning a guard, which was 15 seconds before, so that's nice. That got a 10-second buff. The exit gates are also blocked by the entity spikes for the hunted survivor, and all windows vaulted by the hunted survivor are blocked for all survivors for the remainder of the hunt. So there is a lot of nerfs in there, but there's also a few buffs too. I think all in all, this seems like a pretty good way of balancing it, because from what I know, I think there was actually quite a lot of buffs in the base kit there, so I understand why they'd bring down some of the add-ons just to try and balance some things out. But then we've also got a load of reworks in there. I'm not sure why they decided to rework so many of the add-ons. I don't know, maybe a bunch of the add-ons were useless before. I'm not really too familiar with most of the Knight's add-ons, to be honest. I don't play the Knight So if I got anything wrong there, if I like misinterpreted anything, do let me know. I sometimes just quickly read over stuff in the patch notes and I don't actually realize if I'm talking about it correctly. If it's not something I'm interested in or I don't commonly use in the game, I'm not likely to understand it immediately. So just let me know if I did make any mistakes there regards to whether they're good or bad. I know I did that in my previous update video, so you know. But anyway, all in all, not a bad change in my opinion. Moving on to the Singularity. Damn, they have added a load of changes here. Okay, so this is actually one that I noticed before I even filmed this video. I think I noticed this the same day I recorded the Lara Croft chapter because it was so different. And you know what? I'm actually happy with this change. There are some good changes in here. So first and foremost, when tagging a survivor from a pod and a slipstream is not completed, the tagging process goes down gradually over 0.5 seconds, which was instant before. Tag depletion starts after 0.25 seconds after slipstream has been accumulated but not completed, which was 0.3 seconds before. When destroying a pod whilst controlling it, hold down M1 attack button for 1.25 seconds to destroy it, which is a new functionality. This is one of the things I think is really good because there was a lot of times where I'd place the biopods in really stupid spots and then I wouldn't be able to get rid of them because they'd just be stuck there. So I'm happy now that you can just get rid of them and move them around. That is a great change. There's a new killer instinct effect for 3 seconds on survivors receiving slipstream from another slipstreamed survivor or from a biopod. They've added an aim assist effect apparently when aiming at a slipstreamed survivor. I did actually notice this as well. They've decreased the tagging cooldown for pods after slipstreaming a survivor to 3 seconds, which was 3.5 before, which allows less downtime after shooting a survivor. They've decreased the distance that survivors can see supply crates auras when not slipstreamed to 28 meters, which was 32 meters before. So that's kind of a nerf, to be honest, for the survivors. They've added a hindered icon to show the slowdown when survivors charge the EMP tool. The killer wake up time after controlling a pod has been decreased to 0.5 seconds from 1. The killer wake up time near a hooked survivor has been decreased to 1.5 seconds, which was 5 before, to account for the anti-camp feature. Honestly, quicker speeds to try and get out of the whole wake up thing. I'm happy with that. I don't like how slow it was before, so that's good. They've decreased the world detection of the aiming radius to reduce collisions and interference for shots. Overclock duration no longer scales based on the number of slipstream survivors, and base value has been increased to 5.7 seconds, which was 4.7 before. They've increased the readability of the survivor in-range indicator. So highlight is on equals it can be tagged, and then highlight is off means that they cannot be tagged. After exiting a pod, the aura of the last used pod is displayed in yellow for 10 seconds, which was 5 before. The Soma family photo add-on plus 3% haste effect for the duration of the overclock is now base kit instead of an add-on functionality. The ultrasonic sensor add-on sound effect is now base kit as well, and killers can hear sounds through a controlled biopod after 0.20 seconds by default. They've made valid location target placement easier, and it says in brackets, increased placement timing from 0.1 seconds to 0.2 seconds. After using an EMP, survivors are invincible to slipstream for 1 second, which was 2 seconds before. EMP range effect has been increased from 8 meters to 10 meters. EMPs stop printing when reaching 97%, and survivors now need to complete the last 3% manually, which isn't really a big amount, so I honestly don't see the point in that really. Supply crate auras are shown in yellow when maximum progress has been reached. You're no longer forced to pick up EMPs after opening supply crates, and for the perks Blast Mine and Head On, they now both apply the overheat effect when affected by a stun during overclock. Some of those in there I'll have to go over again because honestly there's a lot of numbers in there. There's a lot of like specifics that I don't really know too much of on the top of my head, but there's also some good ones in there. Some of those that I really like especially are how you can tag people quicker now, the fact that you can get rid of the biopods from chosen positions, and obviously the wake up times because those were kind of slow before. There's some really good changes in there in my opinion, and honestly all round I think it's made the Singularity Singularity a lot more fun to play. That's just my thoughts though. If you disagree, let me know in the comments. Moving on to the good guy, thank God he only got like 2 changes here, which gives me less to read. Honestly, that's awesome. So for the hidey-ho mode, the cooldown now starts at the end of a slice and dice instead of like when you started it, apparently. So that's a bit of a bummer, I guess, but whatever, makes sense. And the hidey-ho mode cooldown has been reduced to 10 seconds from 12, so that's all right. I think we got a nerf and a buff in there, so yeah. I don't really have any thoughts on that, I guess. The only thing I want them to do is just bring back Scamper. I don't care how much other people don't like it or thought it should have been removed. I think Scamper was such a nice and unique ability to Chucky, and I don't like that it's confined to slice and dice. Like, that needs to come back, in my opinion. I don't care if that's unpopular to say. My main critique for the good guy is that he's just too fucking small, which is probably why he should have never been added to the game in the first place. Moving on now to map updates. So they've added 2 new map variations to the Mount Ormond Resort. I have obviously seen these. I like that there's more variation now. That's great. They've added 1 new map variation to the family residence from the Yamaoka's estate realm. They've added 1 new map variation to the Sanctum of Wrath, which is also from the Yamaoka estate realm. They've added apparently gameplay pass on the Forgotten Ruins map to add pallets on at the ground level. Is that even fucking English? What? Gameplay pass on the Forgotten Ruins map to add pallets on at the ground level. These devs, man, I don't even know. They're on something. I don't know. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. They've added variations to the maze tiles in the pool of tiles for the Colwyn Farm realm. I've also seen those, and I think they're very good as well. Some of them are a bit questionable, like some of the, not really jungle gyms, but whatever you call them, the obstacles for some of the loop spots are a little questionable. Like, they're a bit weirdly shaped, but like, if they're really problematic, I'm sure they'll change them. But, you know, for the most part, I'm happy that there's more variation once again. They've added lockers in the existing maze tiles in the Colwyn Farm realm. They've updated the placement of the exit gates. I guess that's for all maps because they didn't specify. And they've updated new maze tile safety from the feedback collected during the PTB. Moving on to events and archives. I don't even need to read this. Tome 20 came out. You guys will already know this. Yeah, Tome 20 Mystic Level 1 opened on July 16th. And obviously we got the new Rift. Moving on to features, we got the hook respawn. Now, this is probably one of the most controversial changes from this entire patch. And if you want to know what I think about it, don't worry, I'm not a contrarian in this situation. I'm very much with everyone else on this. Why did we need this? Why was this an idea? Why did behavior think this was a good idea? I don't care if people were running to the corner of the map where the hook's already gone, right? Like, say their teammates died on a hook nearby and for like 50 meters, there's not another hook. I don't care if that seems unfair. Just leave them there to die. Just let them bleed out on the floor. Slug them. Easy peasy. Why did they need to respawn? That just annoys me. I'm very much against this change, and I really hope they reverse it sometime because I really don't like it. So yeah, hooks broken by sacrifice will now respawn after 60 seconds. Shitty change, not gonna lie. For UX, or user experience, for the Night Guard's chase, they've added a visual feedback when you have successfully distracted a guard by passing near a window or downed pallet. They've also had a lobby update, so cosmetics and character selection are merged into a single section, as in the store, players can use sub-tabs to navigate between options, including characters' bio pages. The perks widget is added to the lobby, available when looking at the character's menu, allowing players to view perks and powers while selecting characters, which is obviously great. They've added a filter option, which allows for players to show locked cosmetics if they want to do so. As long as players are not waiting for a match to start, they can unlock characters and cosmetics directly on the lobby. Now Moris can be previewed in the lobby, yeah, and they've merged certain functionalities of the Killer and Survivor lobbies to make it easier to maintain in the future. And apparently following PTB feedback, they've adjusted the cosmetics and character selection back to 4 columns for a smoother browsing and selection. And it says in brackets, note that these changes will not be present on Switch, but will be coming in a hotfix. That's probably already been changed. For the Singularity's podding and controlling, there's also been another user experience change here. So Biopod and Killer Reticule was updated to better communicate states. So for green state, it means idle, firing Biopod, or slipstreaming survivor. For purple state, it means to teleport to the survivor. For grey state, it means it's on a cooldown, and the red state means destroying the Biopod or that it's disabled. The final change we have for the Singularity is that now Biopods will indicate to survivors survivors when they are about to be reactivated. So that is the update. There is a lot to go through, so if this video is really long, I do apologize. But yeah, hopefully this video was helpful for somebody. I know most of you will be up to date with all of this already. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think about these changes. Do you agree with me on some of them? Do you disagree? Which changes do you think are good? Which ones do you think are bad? I'd be very intrigued to know. If you enjoyed, be sure to smash the like button down below. It greatly helps the video out in the algorithm. Also, if you haven't already, be sure to hit the subscribe button and turn on post notifications so you never miss a single video of mine. And yeah, with all that being said, thank you all so much for watching, and I shall catch you all in my next video. Goodbye.